Hi, I'm Carl Tenney, and I am a pastor at Oak Hills Wesleyan Church. Not that matters about this video, but the reason I built my own camera jib crane was to get my camera over the heads of my congregation from the back when they would stand to sing. So that left me with the need to either build a platform for my cameraman and the tripod, or find another alternative. I got my first idea off the Frugal Filmmaker. He does a great job of helping you find some inexpensive ways of doing some things. My camera jib has pan and tilt to it. I stole some ideas, from other guys on YouTube who built some different things, and so just a combination of several things. I will share a couple of things that I tried that didn't work. I didn't like the base. It ended up being wobbly, so I'll share that with you. I have a parts list with links to where I got them. That will help you. What I don't have is the list of nuts and bolts. If you need me to count them and figure it out, I will. But I just thought you could steal some of my ideas, hopefully, and hopefully I will inspire you to make a crane as well. One other thing before we get to it, I'm also a photographer. I do photography on the side. I have a stock photography website. You'll find it at www.tenneyproductions.com. This is my email if you have questions for me. If you get on the website and you go to this the store side, there is a stock photography there. A lot of photographers put their images there. You can have mine for free. Not all of mine are listed for free because when I first set it up, I didn't make them free, but I've come to the conclusion, what good are they if people don't see them and enjoy them? This background is on there, by the way. Things like that, backgrounds, PowerPoint backgrounds, for websites, there's nature. Anything's got my name on it is pretty much up for grabs for free. I use the site mostly for proofing for when I do shoots for my clients. But hey, I do a lot of that kind of work. So go there, visit it. If you're in need of images, let me know. I might even be able to do some for you. But you got on this because you wanted to see the do-it-yourself camera crane jib with the pan and tilt. And let's see if I can't put. There we go. So let's get to it. Okay. Here is the crane jib in the back of our sanctuary. I cut the overall pole for the length, that EMT 1.5" pole, at 6.5 feet. You're looking at the counterbalance weights. It is a dumbbell. It is U-bolted on to the pole, and I threw the PVC there to help with maneuvering it, and if I wanted a place to add some extra counterweight. Here we're looking at the pan and tilt pulleys, the garage pulleys that I put on there. Those are the 3-inch, and the cables that run them. The cable has to go for each pulley, has to go both directions. So you have to have one coming and going for each pulley. Here it is, the L brackets that hold it on, and the post and rail, and these are speaker tripods that I used. I found them to work really well. I like them. I even put this on on casters that you buy for tripods or light stands, and it worked well. I liked it. This is my third base that I put together. This one's working out really well for me, and I'll show you later some of them that I did that didn't work. Right here where it attaches to the pole, I have that tightened pretty tight because I don't want my jib to fall onto the heads of people. And you can see the TV monitor we just passed. Turnbuckle there that holds that is actually the wired coated wire That works really well. It does not slip in the pulleys. I was worried that it would. Got that from the Frugal Filmmaker. And here we are at the end where the brackets, these are L brackets that are bolted together, 2 sets, a 6-inch and a 4-inch to hold my Panasonic camera there. And you do see a a mirror. That's what that orange handle, and it runs out to a mirror. And because my remote is not wired, it's a wireless, obviously. And there are wires. This is not finished. When I'm done, it will be painted. I'll paint it black. I want it to look decent, but because I'm working on it, there you can see that it is panning, and it'll be tilting here in a minute. Does a great job. We really needed it to be over the heads of our people, and then with the pan and tilt, we can adjust our camera, kind of center things up, and that kind of thing. My needs is probably a little bit different than most videographers, although if I want this thing to be smoother with the pole back at the base, I need to loosen it and then balance it out a little more. I have the balance is just a little heavy on the back end to make sure that it stays high. It won't drop. And there you see my monitor. Really like this monitor. I think it's important to get a monitor under. That's a 7-inch TV monitor. Cost me $60. You'll see that in the list as well. And you have to cycle through and get it to the right mode, and that's what I've just done. And there you see me actually using it, tilting and panning. And you can see that I have that pretty tight. Again, it's for safety reasons. It's a Lazy Susan that you get that allows that to swivel that way. And the bottom piece of wood that is bolted to that is a chain link connector. I got it in a chain link fence. It was $2 roughly. A rail link adapter. And there again is my pan and tilt handle. This really works well for us. I think we liked it better than getting scaffolding or to get our cameras up high. So, and you just swivel, of course. You just turn it. You'll see the 1/4-20 knobs that we have on that. That is so we can tighten it down. And every so often we have to tighten it down so that it will stay in place wherever we set it. But I really like it. This worked out quite well for us. And that's what I'm pointing to there. And you can see me panning and tilting in the monitor. And there's my remote. It's wireless and it goes up to the mirror. And the wires will eventually go in the pole. I'll drill a couple larger holes and feed them out. I have several wires on there because I put the camera that I'm shooting this with, I put on there. It is I think it's 7 pounds. It's a big Panasonic shoulder mount, and I put it on there. I have quick release on there that I show you in the parts list as well. So it's 6.5 foot long, and as you can see, it's already over the heads, over the back pew. In our church, the back pew is not the safe place to be. Everybody loves the back pew. Big jokes about the back pew, how important they are. And there I am in my Mr. Rogers sweater. I have it's cold in my church. We keep the heat down during the week, and so we're not cold people, but we do keep the heat down. So there, I would just maneuvering it, kind of show you. And we have a mixer. We do standard def for our services, and the computer monitor's on, but the other monitors are for our mixers. And here I'm just kind of showing you the church. This is what we use it for. There is actually up by that piano, there is a camera facing back towards the congregation there. You can't, there on the left, can't quite make it out, but it's there. Just panning around. This is the camera that we have that that goes into the center aisle, and I think I'll put a picture in the next section here for you. And there's our gathering room where we drink coffee and socialize a bit. Fellowship hall's on the other side. So that's my church. This is what I'm using the crane jib for, and I've used it for some other things too. I have to loosen it up a bit to use it as probably the rest of you would want to use it. But it is pretty smooth, and I like it a little smoother than this was panning. I have this one on casters on a tripod dolly. Cost me $40, I think, online. So there it is. I'll give you the parts list. I didn't give you all the lengths of the bolts. This is my parts list, and we'll go over the parts list here. This is a speaker stand, actually. I got it on eBay. There's a link to it. $25. Not bad. And it will go way high if you needed it to, for whatever reason. I keep it low. And the base expands. Here we have the TV monitor, $60. I highly recommend it. I love it. Wouldn't want to jib without it. So, and it's worth it, I think. It's also TV. Comes with an antenna. You can play it as a standalone TV. I got my barbells or dumbbells at Walmart, and I used a U-bracket to put them on. This is a top rail in the fencing department, and it fits perfectly over the 1.5 inch EMT conduit. That divot in the center allows you sets on top of the speaker stand. This is the EMT conduit. They come in 10-foot lengths. They also come in 20-foot lengths, but they come in 10-foot lengths. I cut mine up 6.5. I explained that already, and it worked out really well for me. This is the Lazy Susan. It's about $6. It's a 6-inch Lazy Susan, and you put that between your two pieces of wood. They bolt on, and that works out really well. I like it. This is a set of 3-inch garage door pulleys, and they came in pairs at Menards. I think I found them cheaper at Home Depot, and they worked out for me. This is the larger pulley. It's the 4-inch. If you can get a 5-inch, if I was doing something else with it, I'd use 5-inch. They go up near the camera. And these are the brackets that you can get at the end of the brake cables that the wires go through. I use 2 of them, one for guiding and then the other for a stop. And you need them on each end where the brake cables come in. And you need those. Those are needed near the camera and near the handle. And of course, there's just a ton of L brackets that you use for this, and I'll give you the list is in the bottom. You need 3 inchers, you need 4 inchers, you need 5 inchers, and I think some 6 inchers as well. Let's see here. Yes, you need 3 5-inchers, you need 5 3-inchers, you need 2 6-inches, and 2 8-inch, or 2 6-inch. These are mending brackets. You need 2 8-inches of these and 2 4-inch mending brackets, and those I use for extending. And this is the wire rope that you saw, and I got it at Walmart, around $5 in the clothesline section. So, and you need these then to wrap around the turnbuckle with that wire rope, and that's how I put the turnbuckle on. Hold the turnbuckle on, one on each end. That is a turnbuckle, about $3. You can get them cheaper. I think the one that I have on my camera is cheaper. On my jib, rather, is cheaper. I don't think I paid quite as much as this was. This is a Davis pin. It goes into the top rail that fits over the speaker stand. You put that over it. You drill all the way through the speaker stand rail and the top rail that's setting over it, and then I put that pin in to hold that on. And that's the R clip, or also known as a hair clip, that goes into the Davis pin. And I got those at Menards. This I highly recommend. This is a quick release. The bottom bolts onto the bracket where the camera goes, and then you can just release it really quick, and that way I can use whichever camera on that I want. I have several of these. You can get them for around $10 with shipping off eBay, and there's a link for that as well. This is a setup I wouldn't recommend. This was my second attempt, but I put this on here to show you where that, at the bottom there, where that PVC is, that Davis pin goes through. That top rail is down over top of the speaker pole, and the Davis pin goes through both of them and holds them in place. But this was my second attempt that I wouldn't recommend. I have plates where I didn't use the wood, and you can see the Lazy Susan in between. This was my first attempt. I got this idea off another guy. This is actually a caster. I pulled the rubber wheel off, but it's too sloppy, and I had bolted it to an EMT cap. Another problem with this is that there was no way to tighten it down or put any tension on it, and so my boom actually would swivel, especially if I didn't have the tripod set in level. Or the speaker stand, actually, not tripod. Well, it is, and so it would swivel, and that's why I ended up putting a stop on it. But still, there was too much slop. Now, something else I should point out, I should spend a little time with, and that is the assembly that I have with the pulleys and the cables for my pan and tilt. This is on the handle side with the 3-inch, and of course you put the larger pulleys up next to the camera, and you put one wire goes and feeds one way around, and then the other wire comes in and feeds the opposite direction, because it takes up. When you pull it back, it will actually take up then the line, so it feeds and unfeeds. Here's a little closer view. The way I did that is that I drilled a hole there on the lip. There one opposite on the other side of the pulley there, you see at the top, and another little hole for my wire to come through. And then I took some sheet metal screws with some washers, and then I basically just then used my washers to hold my as a way of holding my wire in place. So I brought it through those little holes. I wrapped it around twice, and then brought it through the hole, and then for the other one. And so that's how I did that. Brought it out, used those sheet metal screws, and then screwed the wire down onto the pulley itself, so that way my wire wouldn't slip out. Every once in a while I have to tighten it up. Actually, I haven't done it for probably a good 6 months. Probably should go through and tighten things up every now and again. Like I said, this I will end up painting and dressing it up. This is still the rough, but I wanted to get it on and share it. Well, I didn't list all the nuts and bolts. I know that I didn't. I did make a list with all the pieces and parts and links to those, and some I got on eBay, some at Walmart, some at Menards. You know, and I realize you may not have those stores available to you locally. I live in Rochester, Minnesota, so I do. I use several 2-inch. I use several 2.5-inch bolts. I think a 2 3/4 length. I tried to stick to 1/4 bolts as much as possible, but most of the bolts and nuts that I got, to make it less expensive, I would buy the packages of assorted nuts and bolts. I like the hex heads, so I use those. Not that you have to use those. You'll need some sheet metal screws, the small ones. I don't remember what size I use. I can look that up if you really need to know. I bought fender washers. I bought those in packages. I bought the nylon washers. Bought those in packages. In fact, I use those. I use those in between my brackets that went up and my posts that went through. And I would put the nylons in there, and I put nylons on where I put the thumb turn knobs to tighten down my pulleys. Nylons there. That just makes them work smoother and better. And again, my jib, I have the brackets pretty tight against my post. That's because I want to pretty much keep my post at an angle. I don't want it, and I wanted to make sure it wouldn't fall, because it's going over the front pew, the back pew. I didn't want it to fall and hit somebody on the head. Can you imagine that? So anyhow, I did that. If you have questions about how I did something, I'm happy to answer those. You can see my email right there, and you send me an email or ask me below. Leave a comment if you want below. I always take criticisms. Don't always like them, but they help make you better. And again, if you need pictures, my website, when you get on it, you have to go to the store or the proofs. That both goes to it's actually a stock photography place, and you can get them for free. Not all of them with my name on them are listed for free, and so if there's something there you want, fire me an email. I'll get back to you, let you know how to get it for free, and I'll give it to you. So I wanted to share that with you. Thanks for dropping into my channel. It's a very eclectic channel because I'm a pastor. I have sermons on here. I do some ministry from here. I know that there'll be some photography coming on here. I plan to do some of that, and things like this as well. So I'm glad you stopped in. If you like what you see, really help me out. I'm trying to get that 100 subscribers so I can stream live. Subscribe. I'd appreciate that. But if not, I still like you. I'm glad you dropped in. And I hope this helped. If you build a jib and you put it on here, fire me a note. Let me know. I'd like to check it out. And who knows, maybe I like yours better than mine. I don't think mine is the only jib out there. So thanks again for stopping by.